Good morning, everyone. I walked in the room this morning and I looked around and I saw so many bright, smiling faces. I thought, this is going to be a good day. And then I came up and I started thinking, wow, with all these people here, you probably all have very different expectations of the day. And you're all looking at things that many of you are not familiar with. New mobile technologies, social technologies, and this whole thing they call on the commercials the almighty cloud. And you have to wonder how these things will fit together in a real world context. And when I start thinking along those lines, I begin to realize we've got a lot of change in front of us. We've got a lot of things that we're going to have to do to make our lives significantly better. But before I start, I want to see how much change you have already embraced. How much of your lives have changed in the last 10 to 15 years? The first question, how many of you have a smartphone in your pocket, hand, or so forth? I expect to see almost all hands go up. You know, most of those iPhones, Android phones, BlackBerry users, hands up, BlackBerry users. These are the people who are being punished. Yes? When we talk about change, we can see the change everywhere we go because all you got to do is get on a plane and everyone, as soon as the plane touches down, they whip out their phone and they're texting and they're talking to people. We're talking to people today more than we've ever talked to people before. The only problem is we're not saying a whole lot. And we have to actually begin to tie what we do with those devices in a social context through the cloud into what we do in our businesses and our jobs every day. That's what I want to talk to you about. That's what I want to talk to you about because we're entering a world where people can do what they want and the machines and the technology will try to keep up with them. Remember it used to be the other way around? Remember when we got PCs, we had to be at the one PC to run this application in the one room and on the one, well maybe you guys are too young for that, but I remember it. And now we go wherever we want to go and we take the machines with us. So that is fostering a new era for us, a new era of what we at Gartner call extreme collaboration. We truly believe that the world is becoming more extreme. Now, if you look at this thing, talk about business process management, we have been trying to improve business processes for years. We have tried to improve business processes, and we have done it. We have gotten incrementally better every year at processes. Doing the best we can, we'll continue that incremental rise, but it'll be a marginal rise over time. And what we haven't seen yet in the business process management world is something that could bring a step function of change to our organizations. A step function where we have a leap in the ability to improve what we do with customers, what we do with processes, and what we do with ourselves. Today we're seeing the forces that allow us to make that leap. That leap will allow us to create radical innovation through what we call a zone of extreme collaboration. Now let's talk about those forces for a moment. Now, if you've been anywhere in the world, you've heard about cloud, social, and mobile. You've heard about the mobile revolution. We all have our smartphones, and I just found out this morning on a commercial, my phone is actually just a test phone. Have you seen that commercial? These phones are test phones. I never understand why people will come out with a commercial that insults everyone in the world who thinks their phone is good. But we have to realize that everyone's going to have something. Everyone's going to be doing the mobile thing. And we're all going to be social. I'll ask another question. How many of you are on Facebook? Expect to see a few less hands, but a good number. Those of you who are not on Facebook, I would encourage you, please, to go home tonight and get on Facebook. At the very least, you need to know what your children are saying about you on there. So you become mobile, you become social, and you use the cloud. We're all using the cloud in some regard or another, whether we're using Netflix or Dropbox or Evernote, whether we go to Amazon.com or whether we're using Appian as a BPM platform in the cloud. We are doing much there. Now, Gartner adds information because we believe big data, rapidly coming at you in many streams from many locations is going to change the world as well. But these forces are being applied around us, and these forces are like droplets into a cool pond. Think about a rock that falls into a cool pond. In that pond, ripples begin to radiate out from where the drop happened. And when they get together, they converge, they reflect, they create new patterns along the water. And what we're saying is that extreme collaboration is one of those patterns. Extreme collaboration is a pattern that says you're mobile, so you're available to be communicated with wherever you are, and you can talk to others. You're social, so your interactions are always going to be in a context of social interaction with other people, no matter where they are. You're cloud, and therefore you can actually get access to services that will do what you want, when you want, and you pay for it as you go. And the information is what we have flying around all of us. So when we talk about extreme collaboration, we're saying there are new things that you can do because of those forces. We're saying there are new things that can make your processes more valuable by engaging your people. Did you know that the number one thing that we need to change, and the hardest thing we need to change in our organization, is people? And yet you go buy BPM technologies, you go buy BPM products, you go to BPM conferences, they almost never talk about how you actually change those people. We try, but we don't go very far. So we're saying now you can begin to change the people. Let me give you an example. Extreme collaboration can allow you to designate FaceTime attendees at your next conferences in your building. You have these conference rooms all over the place. Many of you have probably bought video conference systems. We spent lots of money on video conference systems to avoid having people have to get on a plane to fly somewhere else, so that we can improve our ability to interact and get things done without having the delay and the cost of those flights. What I'm saying, there's another step to go to. There's mobile video that's available today. If you have an iPad or you have an Android tablet, you have the ability to do mobile video through Skype or with Apple FaceTime. And that means that you have the ability to designate FaceTime attendees at your next meeting. That's 20% of the people that you tell don't come to the conference room. No matter what you do, don't come to the conference. You can go fishing if you want, but don't come to this conference room. Just make sure you have that iPad under your arm wherever you go, and if it rings, you answer it. And you want that person in the meeting, you call them through a FaceTime call. You have several iPads in the room, they're on the iPad, their face is there, it's as big as everybody else's face in the room, so everything should be fine. So now you have these people that can join meetings and leave meetings as needed while they continue to do their jobs. FaceTime attendees is a simple mechanism that we have access to. And by the way, if you say your employees don't have iPads, it probably costs you less money to give them iPads than to buy that next video conference center that you're going to build in your organization. Building video conference centers today is like building libraries at universities. Right? Nobody goes to them because they have digital access to information. So this is one thing that you can do